What is agriculture, or how did it evolve? Humans start out with a forest. The humans deforest or destroy that forest, and consequently destroy the forest soil and the forest climate. The gradual decomposition of the organic material in the now collapsing soil temporarily liberates nutrients, and since there are only the planted crops to benefit, all nutrients go to the planted crops, or leach out. And that makes the agricultural crops grow and produce, and that is what we call traditional agriculture. The agroforest humans that soon after will go extinct are adapted to agroforests, and are not adapted to eat agricultural crops. Since the agroforest humans have no agroforest left anymore, and cannot even steal any food from the agriculture humans, simply because agricultural foods do not serve them, or the agriculture humans will keep the agroforest humans at a distance or kill them, and consequently the agroforest humans will largely go extinct. This process is quite similar to the population turnover events described by David Rye, based on unique, extensive ancient DNA research. When the decomposition of the now unsupported and uncovered soil is finished, and the nutrients provenient from the decomposing forest soil are gone, the land becomes unproductive and then also subject to erosion. The carbon from the decomposed carbon soil will end up in the atmosphere, a process which we also call emissions, and the leached out nutrients in the oceans. The agriculture humans consequently need to destroy other forests and indirectly its soils and climates, this in order to mine fertilizer, and the fertilizer makes their agricultural crops grow again as long as the mine does not get depleted. Once the fertilizer mines get depleted, the agriculture humans have to repeat elsewhere the destruction of forests and indirectly its soils and climates. In agriculture, with or without using fertilizer, the destruction of forest soil and climate is continuous and in various distinct locations, and at some point the agriculture humans will end up with soils and climates degenerated or destructed, this on local or even global scale, and obviously their culture, economy and population will collapse and or get extinct. The earth is big and such total degeneration and destruction will take a long time, and or temporarily support significant population growth. What the agriculture humans do is a kind of slash and burn practice, but when we agriculture humans do it, we call it agriculture and a sign of civilization or even evolution. When non-agriculture humans do it, we call it slash and burn, and classify it as destructive and primitive, and a kind of anti-culture and anti-evolution. Younger Dryas. The Younger Dryas is an important mark, at least for our scientists, because it is considered the dawn of agriculture, and because it roughly coincides with the Holocene, which is the era of cultures and civilizations. The Younger Dryas is also considered a mark, but for different reasons. For those that are fascinated by the Younger Dryas Meteorite Hypothesis with its intercontinental boundary, as well as by the creationists, especially the young creationists. As said, the Younger Dryas is considered the dawn of agriculture and what we agriculture humans recognize as civilization. The Younger Dryas and agriculture humans are not the dawn of humanity nor of massive food production, and not even of all forms of agriculture, because food production in agroforests and in sustainable slash and burn practices, with pattern and processes, have been going on for at least 2 million years. We, the authors, claim that agroforest food production had been going on for possibly much more than 16 million years. For now we only argue for a period of 12,000 years, because for now only the last 12,000 years in Eurasia are the subjects of this video. Modulation and dynamic landscape. The authors of the on your screen presented video claim a dynamic landscape created or augmented by the Amazon Amerinds as far back as 10,000 years or more. This could be an indication that they existed and practiced long before the Younger Dryas. The authors claim to have occurred ecological management that the Amazon Amerinds practiced at the headwaters of the rivers. The Amazon Amerinds took advantage of a situation that already was present in part naturally. They used the potential they observed, including the hydrological dynamics of the island, Ilha de Marajo, Brazil, but also other headwaters of rivers, and the dynamics of the present for them important fish populations. They took advantage of this all to be able to produce a very high quantity of food surpluses that are proven to support exceptional health, that would allow for exceptional demographic growth. Ecological management. For at least 10,000 years the Amazon Amerinds practiced an ecological management that goes behind the carbon agroforest as we generally describe them in this channel. Apart from growing and exploring carbon agroforest, they also modulated the landscape, and made it more dynamic, this also to optimize their securities, like water reserves and protection against flooding, as well as to optimize the quantity and quality of their food production, especially of their very fish populations. This while also systematically further enhancing soil fertility and carbon dioxide removal from the atmosphere in order to enrich the soils, carbon agroforests, water bodies and oceans. They took advantage of the potential of the Amazon forest to produce a very high quantity of food surpluses that are proven to support exceptional health, that would allow for exceptional demographic growth, and ultimately the population of the whole planet. This is what all ancestral markers research and ancient DNA research confirm us all the time. Consensus often prejudices these for our existence essential research and information of the general public, probably because consensus fears it will become inconvenient for and add more paradigm to their long-standing but still unproven hypotheses and theories. But obviously science should never involve prejudicing research and prejudicing the distribution of its results, independent of whether this is inconvenient for consensus or not. This video is part of a series and to be continued.